really get to know you, because nobody can know you until you know you. Christian, what do you want to eat today? I don't know. How am I gonna tell anybody that I want Chipotle if I don't know that I want Chipotle? That's why you have to know yourself.
But you know, when people are like, "How are you doing today?" and you're like, "I'm great." Sometimes I'll be lying.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christian, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about mental health. Today is World Mental Health Day, and I thought it would be a great time to do a video focused on mental health. This is going to be a deep condition and chat video, so let's get into the deep conditioning and let's start chatting. Let's part. I kind of wanted to touch on this video because in one of my previous videos talking about the justice system and everything that we're going through as Black people, if you are Black, then you already know. When I watched the vice presidential debate and I watched Pence basically act like racism is non-existent and try to insult Miss K for her comments, I was like,
but I trust our justice system.
so this is what we doing. Wait, I'm about to go get a ponytail holder because don't play with me. Wow, my hair is long. Oh my gosh, my hair is so long. I just wanted to talk about my experience going to therapy, and if you see this title and you feel bad for me, don't pity me. You need to be applauding me, not in a cocky way, but like, I don't like when people are like, yeah, I go to therapy, and they're like, oh, poor baby.
Avocado!
Like, no, there's nothing sad about it, you know, it's more celebratory if anything. So I decided to go to therapy because the first week of school, the counseling services came to my department, and they were like giving their presentation on their services, and they told us like where they were located and stuff. And I was like, I'm nosy, like I like learning about myself, so I was like, I don't have any like immediate issues, but at the same time, with trauma, you never know, so let's just go investigate. And so the first time I walked in the office was probably the scariest, because like people are gonna look at you no matter where you are, but I don't know, I was kind of worried about like people looking at you, but like we're all pretty much there for the same thing. There's nothing shameful about it. So I went the first day, and they made me fill out this form, this online form, basically asking about the state of your mental health at the time that you take the test. And so I took it, and they asked me what times I was available. No, that's actually not what happened. I took the little test, and then they were like, hold tight really quickly. We think we have, oh, this deep can, oh guys, I'm using my new Jamaican black castor oil deep condition that I showed in my vlog, and I have only used like a little bit, so it's not gonna come in focus. I've only used a little bit, and that, wow, it's very, very potent. But they were like, oh, sit tight 1 minute and we might get somebody to evaluate you now. So I waited like 5 or 10 minutes, and then there was this guy who came and he like asked me questions, and then he was like, okay, we're gonna refer you to individual sessions, but we like don't have anybody that is fitting the description of a person that you requested, so you can go to group sessions. They didn't have anybody that could see me for like 6 weeks or something, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to wait. So I went to the individual session, I went to the group session, and it was good. Like at first it was awkward because like when you're in a group of strangers, I don't know you, you don't know me, I don't want you to know my business. But after a while I started opening up, and then other people started opening up, and we left feeling like, oh, that was nice. We got little worksheets, and then after that my appointment came, and I thought it was at 3 o'clock, so I got there at like 2:50 or something, and they were like, oh, your appointment was at 2, and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, and this appointment was going to be like closer to an hour, the first one's going to be a little bit longer. I was like, so then I had to reschedule it for like, I think it was like a long time after. It was like 3 or 4 weeks, and I was like, at this point, is this a sign that I should just not worry about it, because this is too much drama? But I'm like, let me just take advantage of my college resources while we're at it. So I went for my first day, and the first day was good. My therapist introduced herself, and then she had me talk about my childhood and my family, and then we just talked. And I liked her because she the funny thing is, I feel like my sessions were 45 minutes, and I bet you I talked for a good 44.5 minutes. She could not get a word in, and I was just like, do I even need her? But I liked her because she facilitated questions that helped lead me to my own answers. Like, she is trained really well, and her questions were very, very helpful in leading me to make my own observations. And I just really liked her, and she was very comforting and understanding, and I really enjoyed it. And so I had like 3 or 4 sessions, and on the last session I could feel that it was going to be my last session, because she was like, well, I even vlogged about it that day. And she was like, well, I think you have all the tools. I was like, I don't want to go, I like it here. She was like, I feel like you have all the tools you need, so if you need me, you can email me and get a session, but we are going to stop meeting weekly. And I was like, I don't want to stop. But she's right, like I was pretty much good after that. And so I think that if you're thinking about therapy and you're like debating on whether or not you should go, and you get the opportunity to go, especially if you're in college, please take advantage of it. And unfortunately, talking about going to therapy is like a taboo. Like, not a lot of people talk about it. It's like kept kind of private, a little bit secretive, which is crazy because even therapists go to therapy. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm not too good. I'm not too good. Nobody's too good. We all have room for improvement, so why not? I always like to do things that help me out because I love me. But yeah, it's something that's not talked about frequently in the Black community. Not because, like, I don't know if it's because it's seen as oh, you just need to pray, and like prayer alone cannot help fix trauma, and that's the unfortunate reality. You have to actually work through it, you know? So yeah, but I was watching this amazing show. I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm gonna put a clip of it on the screen. And it's this man on YouTube who interviews celebrities. And the first episode I think I watched was Dreezy.
The problem is your anxiety.
Anxiety.
That you don't know how to work through those feelings, those uncomfortable feelings. Like, for example, you're anxious, it's like, this needs to be done now. That's the problem.
And she was talking about her anxiety, and she was talking about me and her childhood. And then there was another one with like Dej Loaf, and she was talking about like her childhood trauma. And I would really recommend that you watch that show if you have time. And I like the interviewer. The therapist on there is really good. He's very trained, and I like how he's very calm as well. He gives me those good vibes. We hear a lot about people that like live in a mansion who overdose from drugs, and we're like, you have the perfect life. Why in the world would you even do something like that? Society really has us under the impression that if you have money, you are going to be happy. Now, for poor people, I think money would relieve stress, but money isn't everything. And these people that live in mansions and have maids and have a bunch of friends and associates still have their battles too. And so that brings me to J. Cole's album. Now on this channel, like I said, we can call you out, but we can also praise you. So one of my favorite albums by J. Cole was his recent album. And on the intro, he was basically saying there are multiple coping mechanisms, and you can choose which coping mechanism you want to use. And then they run through like a list. And I was like, wow, that really pretty much sums it up. Like, a lot of people turn to a lot of different things to cope with life and things that are hard to get through. But why does my scalp burn right there? I don't like that very much. But I did realize that one of my coping mechanisms is humor, and I don't know, a little comedic relief to lighten the mood. In the most serious moments, I am making jokes. And sometimes that's not good. Like, sometimes, like, I know when to be serious, but like, I think sometimes I need to not make jokes and just not make jokes. Because no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that all the time. But it's definitely good to know your coping mechanisms. Oh, and also your triggers. So you should be able to identify your triggers for when you're not doing so well mentally, and those signs will pretty much be able to show you, okay, we need to switch something up. We need to do some evaluation. We need to do some self-care. And for me, it's appetite. As a Taurus, food. I grew up, my favorite channel to watch was Food Network. Even if I would watch Food Network when I was hungry, watch Food Network when I was full. I would watch Chopped. I would watch all the shows. So for me, I know that I need to evaluate myself when I have a loss of appetite. because that's my sign of, okay, Christian, what's going on? And so I feel like if you start to identify your triggers and your coping mechanisms, overall, you will know yourself better, and you can catch yourself before you slip into, you know, the same cycle. But yes, I would definitely suggest anybody that is interested to go ahead and look at that series, because mental health is very, very important. I do not believe that how you look on the outside is how you feel on the inside. I don't believe in stressed, depressed, but well dressed. I just could care less. I honestly think that mental health should be talked about more, because it's kind of something that a lot of people feel that they have to struggle through alone because nobody wants to talk about it. And on that note, when quarantine first started, I started watching Married at First Sight because it's something has like 11 seasons and it's bingeable. And so in the current season, there's this man named Miles, and Miles is really a sweetheart, and he is just so nice. And the person that he got married to at first sight has been giving me like, he's a nice guy vibes, like friend zoning dude, and he's just amazing. So I already know he's gonna get some requests if they don't end up marrying each other, which at this point they don't look like they're going to. But anyways, he basically came to the woman that he is now married to, and he was like, okay, we've known each other for a couple of weeks now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let you know that I have been diagnosed with clinical depression. And this made a lot of sense to me, because in one of the first episodes, she actually found out about about who she was married. Like, when you get married at first sight, you're not supposed to know the identity of the person, but she accidentally found out. And so she knew who he was. She went to his Instagram, and the first impression that she had of him was, I don't like him, he's too emotional. And I'm like, too emotional? The last relationship that you were in, the man cheated on you and had a child with someone else, and this man is too emotional. But anyways, I say all that to say, she said that he was too emotional because he talked about feelings. She was like, he just talks about feelings too much, and I just think he's just no. And I was like, wow, not the toxic masculinity trait that you want. But yeah, I'm just like, he spoke out about it, and now you're like, oh, I don't know if I can deal with that. Like, I'd rather you come to me and say I've been diagnosed with depression than have you over there struggling in silence, because there are a lot of people that are doing that, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. And so yes, I believe that talking about mental health and making sure that you're taking care of you and coping mechanisms and attachment styles, it's a big one. Like, really investigate yourself. Really get to know you, because nobody can know you until you know you. Christian, what do you want to eat today? I don't know. How am I gonna tell anybody that I want Chipotle if I don't know that I want Chipotle? That's why you have to know yourself. Well, we've come to the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Give me video requests, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.